Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. Today we're going to talk about Red Ninja Momiji. We're recording this late at night because I have insomnia and it sucks. It's there's the company name, but it's really this guy right here. And I had this, like, oh my god, I don't understand this application I'm using. Let's go back to page one. I want to zoom out. How do I zoom out? That's not zooming out. One page. Oh, we could do two-page spreads. Let's do that. That's better. I like this view. We can take in the whole thing. Uh, so it was written by Rodrigo Ibanez. I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm sure, Garcia. And I got the book. I'm going to straight up tell you, I got it when it was on sale for $2. It was on sale like last week for $2 again. Um, I don't really see any need to wait. Like I don't buy digital, so that price drop was really important for me. But if you're a person that's comfortable with digital comics, that price drop shouldn't matter to you. The Leo Mato's art is just really good everywhere that it's here. And I think that's all this first story, and not the second story. So look at this, like, it's just gorgeous. The whole thing is basically you can sum up this book as a bad action movie. And now you're thinking, Elizibar, bad action movie? That doesn't sound very good. It's awesome. It's exactly what you'd expect. So the plot line that starts out is the awesome ninja is going to kidnap her. And I'm not going to like get into nitpicking like the plot points or whatever because I don't really feel it's like necessary. It's like we're in the action movie world, and the chaos of action movies is what's going on here. So you notice she's got like this very 90s costume. Like she looks like something out of Mortal Kombat, or pretty much any mainstream American comic book at the time. Like there's definitely influences of like Psylocke here with the way the suit looks, and yeah, the scarf. I don't know where that came from. That's pretty awesome. I love the way that fabric flows. And we're just going to look at a couple of these pages here. So look at this line art. The motion blur on this bike is really cool. Oh, look at this. I've never even noticed like the little details in that disc thing on her back before. The line art's gorgeous. All this work here. The coloring is a little less gorgeous, and I have an example of that. Yeah, there's a lot of panty shots in this. It's very cheesy, very fan servicey, and that's like something to like about it. Like it's like one of the bad girl comics. Like I'm gonna go with like Lady Death or Vampirella. Like it provides that level of like fan serviciness. The inks continue to be great, and I'm gonna go forward to, yeah, right here. Her. Like the coloring looks digital and it looks a little bit cheap, and it might be a little inconsistent. And this is actually kind of bad line art right here with the way that buttock is drawn. The shading needs to be different or something. I don't know. But anyway, over here's where we should be focusing, not on the. Can I go to single page so we get that buttock off the screen? I don't want you staring at that. I want you staring over here at this. She's wearing metal. And do I still have that browser window open that had the Rob Liefeld art? Nope. Oh my god, I gotta go find that again. I went and looked this up as an example so I could show you what I'm talking about. Where's that kind of older cable picture I was looking at? Ah, it's this one. Okay. Alright, I got that ready. So, she's all metal and stuff, and you can see there's like trying to do reflections. Like, it's trying to be shiny. And I understand it's purple, so you can't do exactly what's here. But the comic, it feels like it's trying to be a very 90s action comic kind of thing. And if you're going to do that, you might as well borrow from one of the guys who is best at doing exactly what you're doing. The coloring is simpler here. I think this book would with less gradiated coloring and stronger lines could look a lot better. But what I really want to point out is this stuff. That shows up every once in a while in the Leo Matos art, but that's a good way to convey, like when you see it on metals, you see how like it edges the shadow, or well, it is the shadow that is between the two areas. You got the lighter and the darker, and this conveys reflection very well. I think the lighting here is actually kind of insane or something, because there's no way like this should be as reflective as this. But that's like a quibble. My point is, like, this kind of, like, you just take this lighter solid tone and you just put it there. So like you can have this dark ring here, and you have like a highlight running like down the middle of that, and then you don't have a gradient, you just have like the solid color. I don't know how that would look. You might try it. It might be an interesting experiment. The coloring is the only nitpick I have in the whole book. And this, I think, is kind of the biggest example of it, because I know what you're trying to do here, and it actually looks good on this gauntlet, but here, like, the reflection should probably be green, because there's green light all over the place. There should be, like, a green hue to it. If you're going to go with this gradiated stuff, you gotta really sell it. In fact, this glow effect here, like here, I was just trashing your stuff, and can I zoom in? No, I can't zoom in. Okay, well, pretend I zoomed in. I have no idea how to use this application reader. I usually read my PDFs in Edge, but I didn't want to look like a plebe and use a browser. So instead I look like I'm incompetent. Alright, great. Oh, here we go. This is two of my favorite panels. This one of the face, and this one, not because of the face or the obvious stuff, but because of the arm details. Look at the way this is laid out. It's awesome. The cross-hatching fishnet might not be laying right, but that's kind of a quibble, and I'm not going to go into it. Like, it should curve slightly because she's a human being and her arms are cylindrical. But look at this. This is how... I'm assuming this gauntlet thing is made of metal. And if it is... maybe it's just the colors. I don't like the way this purple looks. I don't know. But the coloring on that piece looks a lot better than the coloring anywhere on this, except for this one panel here. You do... I got to get some props, like the angles. There's some very interesting angle choices. Like, look at this. We're up above. This dude's, like, splayed out. You got these, like, two kind of inset panels, and she's on top. Like, this is pretty nice construction, because she's actually escaped out of her panel over here, and it's dynamic. I actually really like how the sword looks. I just contradicted myself with the coloring, didn't I? But I really like how the sword looked. I like how her coloring looks in most of these panels. The skin tones are where, and that purple stuff are where I notice, like, the problems, because the skin tones don't quite look right. Like, this all should probably still be in shadow here. In fact, it should probably be darker right here. Can you see my mouse cursor? Yes, show mouse cursor turned on. It should probably be darker here. Instead, there's an edge effect that makes it look brighter. Here, that's probably acceptable, but in this angle, I don't think it flies. I think maybe a little less on the gradient could really improve. Oh, you know what? Really good art style to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. It's a completely different genre. Here we go. It's one of my favorite webcomics. If Jim Francis ever actually decides to sell this thing, I'm going to, like, buy the super deluxe $200 hardback edition. Don't tell him I said that, because he'll actually go make it happen. I really need to go back his Patreon, but he combines, like, CG models with cel-shaded work. But I think maybe for what you're going for, something more akin to, like, the cel-shaded look would probably work well, because look how the highlights work here, as opposed to how the highlights work here. like they pop over here, and over here it's kind of muddy. I guess what he does here doesn't really pick up the texture. I don't know if these are supposed to be metallic, like glossed or not, but yeah. You see what I'm going for. So, let's get back to reviewing. The plot, kind of like, okay, action stuff. There's 2 stories in this. Hold on, if I go back to the credits, you can see there's the main story, and then there's this backup feature. And the backup feature is the one that's actually used in the free preview. Right here. So you can go to Comic Central, look this up. I'll have the link to one of these things in the description, so you can just go right there and take a look. So let me back up. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I got insomnia. So sleepiness and insomnia are a bad combo. I thought I'd be a little bit productive. So let's go back. What do I like? In the main story, the Leo Matos line art is great. He's from the Ed, and I'm going to butcher his last name. I apologize. Ed Benes. I hope that's right. School down in Brazil, I believe. Great ink, great penciling, great inks. We haven't looked at the backup feature, and I'm not going to scroll down there. The backup feature, I do believe, is the story that is in the free preview. So if you want to check that out, you can just go look at the free preview. The story is fun. It gets us from like action beat to action beat in a reasonable way without too much frou-frou. The dialogue seems fairly natural. It wasn't super stilted. Like, here, very early, like, these guys are like, they're bossy. She's like, hey, no, there's no need for this. I said, let me go. And she's freaking out. And then stuff happens, and she's like, oh my god, are they dead? Oh my god. And then she just comes in, and she's like, I'm an action hero. I get to say something flippant. Like, the writing is very serviceable. The fan service actually gets a little bit obnoxious. Like, I kind of dig it, but when they're on the motorcycle, like, I think literally every page on the motorcycle has buttocks. Which, being a red-blooded male, is okay with me. But I can see how that would turn some people off from reading the book. The sound effects, like this blam, 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 that's awesome. These sound effects, like, I know a lot of this stuff just comes out of, like, a library, and you just drag and drop it and mangle it around the way you want it. But it's well placed. Like, here, we have the sound effect over this. This is like something out of Adam West Batman. Like, it crash with a K, and it just pops up on the screen, and then it goes away real quick, so it doesn't take away from the action scene happening. It's a fun book. It's a fun book. Let me close that Rob Liefeld window. Hopefully I won't need Rob Liefeld window again. He's an interesting guy. I follow him on Twitter. So you can go get this thing on Comixology. You can get it in Spanish, which is actually cheaper. So if you read Spanish and you want to save a couple bucks, this is probably the way to go. One thing I did notice here when I was looking at this a minute ago, the names on the cover are different. Look at this. Alright, so Ninja Momiji, Volume 1, Way of the Mercenary. Look, Leo Matos. Alright, let's go over here. What are you going to see? What are you going to see? Leandro Matos. Oh, boom. I know a guy named Leandro. Not the same guy, though. So I'll have a link to one of these. I'll probably link the Comic Central one. Just because you can get to the free preview from there. And you should check that out. And, oh, I closed the reader window. Well, I guess I'm going to look like a plebe and open this up in Edge, because I don't feel like hassling with that reader thing. So, this is like the free preview. We're just going to like scroll down the first page. You can see the coloring remains the same, but the line art has a very different quality to it. It's because it's a different artist. The colors are actually a little flatter in this one. Was this drawn and colored first? Or is it just because the quality of the line art changed? Like, or maybe it's the quality of the lighting in the space. Like, I'd have to think about that a while. He's a very angry person. So you can get this little free preview, and we're not going to scroll past here because I want you to go get the free preview. And I'm going to shut up now. So things I like. Action, the line art is great. Things I don't like, I think the coloring needs a little work, and I try to be helpful about what I think might improve it. And as always, with any feedback or criticism, you should take it in stride. The lettering was fine. I just realized, I didn't comment on the lettering at all, and that's because the lettering really didn't matter. It was there when it needed to be. The action stuff was great because it popped up whenever it needed to be and then just went away. Probably the plot's a little thin. I mean, this is like an action movie comic book. The plot's going to be a little thin. Uh, in fact, I couldn't tell you really what the plot was. Just that there was a lot of cool fight scenes along the way. So it's kind of like when I watched Hardcore Henry and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. But boy, this is a great fight scene. I got this when it was on sale for $2, full disclosure. It's a steal at $2. I don't buy digital, so a $2 investment in a digital comic seems like a big deal to me. If you buy digital, it's probably not. The $4 that it's normally priced seems like a perfectly fair price. You're getting, 60 pages of goodness right there? Like, if you went on Kickstarter, like, there are people that will be like, oh, for $5, you get our 20-page comic in digital format. Like, that's how indie comics roll. This is pretty good in comparison. Also, full disclosure, Mr. Garcia and I follow each other and tweet at each other and stuff. So if you think that colors my impression, this is just your full disclosure moment. Age rating 17 plus only? I don't know. It seemed like PG-13 to me. It really seemed like PG-13 to me. Maybe there's something more risque in there that I missed, but this seems like something they would put into a PG-13 movie with wink, wink, nudge, nudge, going on. I'm going to let you guys go, all of you, whether you like it or not. You all have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check this out. I will have the link to something in the description, and you definitely should go look, because this is a free preview. There's no cost to you. You can just go click and check it out. Look, I'll demonstrate. Click. And then I could add it to cart and check it out. I already have it, though, so I don't need to do that. Bye-bye.